George Russell has to win the Canada Grand Prix or it could be championship over. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to Formula One by Iqbal. Finally, the break is over and it is race weekend. And if you've not noticed, it is a little cheeky extra sprint weekend, so plenty of competitive sessions ahead. Before we get into all the pre-race chatter about George Russell, don't forget, hit that like button, share this video with other F1 fans, and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss a single video. And I wanted to mention that myself and few other F1 creators are going to be launching the debut of the F1 Creator League on F1 25 next week. We will be live streaming it, so please hit up my social so you don't miss some epic live streams which are coming next week. But now, let's chat about George Russell. Surely this is the biggest weekend of George Russell's career. Like, if you ask anyone, and I mean anyone, he would have been your clear favourite for the World Championship before the season started. He's now found himself in a very peculiar situation where he's 20 points behind his teammate, Kimi Antonelli, coming into this Canadian Grand Prix. And look, I know it's very early in the season and I know that a lot can change, and 2025 was that clear-cut example of that. You had Oscar Piastri that was pretty much untouchable all season, leading pretty much the majority of the championship, and he still finished third to Lando Norris. And I can see it happening again. Kimi Antonelli could start feeling the pressure, mistakes could start creeping in, and George Russell could still bag that World Championship at Abu Dhabi. But I still think it's fair game and a fair conversation to have that this weekend is absolutely massive for George Russell. And if we briefly just look back at Miami, I think the thing that stood out to me the most is that everyone brought upgrades. McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari, and especially McLaren and Red Bull, both seem to have taken a big leap forward and both seem to be really competitive, giving us a little bit of hope that we're not going to get this big dominant Mercedes season that we were all worried about. But even with other teams bringing upgrades and Mercedes not really bringing much, Kimi still won the race and George Russell wasn't even on the podium. Now, if Mercedes can still win races without their upgrade, what on earth is going to happen this weekend when they do bring upgrades? And let's have a little look at what the upgrades are going to be. So, a new floor, front wing updates, revised side pods, brake duct changes, and they're also expected to introduce a new software focused on improving race starts. So we might actually see Kimi Antonelli start a race well and not fall back like he normally does. But what I think is going to play such a crucial role in George Russell needing to win in Canada is McLaren. McLaren are going to bring some big upgrades again this weekend. Floor updates, chassis, front wing, rear wing, bodywork, Halo 1 roll hoop. So they're coming strong this week. And this is the issue. It's one thing Mercedes having the best car on the grid, but you've got McLaren who are looking quite good. And you've got two drivers in Lando Norris, a proven world champion who must be hungry to defend his world championship. And you've got Oscar Piastri, who's got so much to prove after 2025. So it's not just bad news for Mercedes that another team could be in the fight. It's especially bad news for George Russell, who's 20 points behind his teammate. And we know Mercedes ain't going to do no papaya rules games. So George Russell needs a result in Canada. Like, a P2 isn't actually really guaranteed anymore. So he needs a result to start eating to Kimi's lead, or this could all massively fade away from George Russell very quickly. And yes, I can hear the comments right now. It's too early for George Russell to stress about this championship, but he's up against a teenager who's got that youthful fearlessness on his side, and two McLaren drivers who have been there and who have been in a title fight before. George Russell does not have that experience yet. And sometimes when you're the heavy favourite and things start collapsing around you, it can be quite difficult to catch all the falling pieces. But this weekend is Canada, a track that George is good at, a track that Mercedes dominated at last season, and a track that George won last season. So this could be the perfect track, the perfect opportunity for George Russell to bounce back. And he needs to. If he wants to stay in this fight, I think he needs a massive statement win when his teammate is on fire and those McLaren boys could potentially be there. So it might not be championship over if George can't win this weekend, but if George can't be at that top step of the podium, the momentum's just going to keep shifting away from him. But I have a feeling that we are going to see a George Russell bounce back this weekend. But jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Myself, George and Kian will be live streaming all this Formula One weekend, so I'll put our socials on screen here somewhere. Hit us up and join in those live streams, and I will see you at the next one.